you, Rosie.
All right, I'd like to call to order the Oxford Area Cable Communication Commission meeting for Monday, November 22nd, 2021. Stand and pay our respects to the flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Maureen, roll call, please.
Conway,
Yes, here.
Helmut, yes. Geibel.
Here.
McDonald,
Yes.
and one vacancy.
Okay, item 4, approval of the agenda.
If there's no changes, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
I have I want to insert one item into the agenda if I may.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure we had everybody here before it, because it would have been mute if we didn't. Under new business, I'd like to address the requirements for the super quorum.
I'll amend my motion to
I'll support your
approve the
amended
amended agenda.
So we have a motion, it's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Public comments on items not on this agenda. There's nobody out there. Approval of the minutes from the previous meeting of October 25th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will support.
We have a motion, it's been supported, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. Item 7 for approval. 7A is the expense for the bill run from 10/25 to 11/21.
11/8.
11/8. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was in my eyes at this. 11/8/21.
Is the total of the bill run the 18,000 number?
I didn't hear what you said.
Is the total of the bill run the 18,673.84? Are we looking at the right number?
Let me look.
It is.
Yes, 673.84, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the expense revenue bill run in the amount of 18,673.84.
Support.
We have a motion, it's been supported. Roll call, please.
Geibel,
Yes.
Helmut, yes. Hunwick,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes. Okay. Year-to-date revenue and expense report for, to receive and file, 7B.
I'll move to receive and file the report.
Support.
We have a motion, it's been supported, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 7C, the distribution report for receive and file on 7C.
So
Pages
moved.
12 and 13. We have a motion,
Support.
we have support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Receive and file 8A, it's the Oakland County, our financial investment funds.
Dave, can I ask you a quick question?
Dave?
Yeah.
No, let's Dave.
What was the total of the investment fund?
Pardon?
What was the total of the investment fund January 1st?
Yeah, you, Mark?
January 1st,
I know it was marked.
Hello, beautiful. Margie Payne
I
showed
don't
up.
have that with me right now, but
I went out for the other. Yeah.
oh, it does say
It's 233.46.
233,676.
That's the total now, right?
January 2021.
Okay.
Oh, I
Okay,
see
I'm
what
good
you-
then.
I see what you mean.
Any other questions?
I guess I'll make a motion to receive and file the Oakland County Investment Pool report as presented.
Support.
Motion, it's been supported, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, manager's report.
Do you want me to read through all of that?
You want to give us bullet points?
I can. We have a new intern, and she will be with us. She's a junior right now. I see her staying with us through her graduation. She's a film student. Let's see. We're waiting for the install. The equipment did arrive on the playback system. The install will be scheduled for January. Let's see. We do have a new pop culture show that's coming in from actually the gentleman that I went and watched him on his playback system in Grand Rapids. He's sending that to us on a weekly basis, so that's keeping us fresh for teens. Let's see. Joe, who has he's got COVID right now, he works in the film industry in Michigan as well. And he had a show that he was all set to do interviews with people that are in the film industry. And it all set to go. We had to cancel it last week, but that's going to be a regular monthly show. He has a lot of connections. And actually, he just got done making a movie in Flint with a Hollywood crew. So he's going places. Let's see. We're back almost in full swing as far as events for the school is concerned. And this month, November and December, October, November, December are our busiest months because we're doing all the choir work and everything they've got going on plays. So we're really in full swing. It's really nice. Let me see. Let's look. We're on the Christmas parade. We're doing that. We are actually, Jim Hughes and I are announcing it, and we're also recording it this year, which is unusual. We don't do that. Met with Tim Throne. There were some issues with us having a hard time getting into the school beyond COVID. And I met with Tim Throne a week or so ago, and I think that will be cleared up. And then they closed down. So they're closed until after the holidays. So there's not much we can do there with getting school news again. Let's see, I'm really trying to get middle school club going. I know there's kids interested in video. It's just making that connection with the right person. And I'm not going to give up because I know there's kids that are interested. They have theater students at that grade level that are really excited about what they're doing. So I'm not going to give up. Dave and I spent the last week and a half working on the budget. I'm getting familiar with how it works. I didn't have a lot of front row seats to that before. Let's see, Parks and Recs has included us in their class schedule in September, and they will be doing, bringing people over to the studio, doing a tour, and we will show them how to do videos on their own. I'm still on the chamber, still doing networking there. And one of the last things I'm really proud about is the MTA called me last week and asked me to do a media relations class at their spring conference. So I'm excited about that. Anything else? And so,
MTA is Michigan Township Association?
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, so that'll be in Lansing in April. So we put, and we'll go over that when we go over the budget, but we put Bill's wages back into employee hourly wages for some of the programming increasing that we're doing, as well as just adding another staff, a part-time staff person, just to keep up with what we're doing.
Is everything
I will keep a close eye.
good with the school district?
Yeah, I think that went well with Tim. He introduced me to his new communications person. Part of it was there was some kind of blockage with their communications person. There's a new one there now, and I've met her before anyhow, and I'm confident that we will have an easier time of it. And it wasn't I don't know, the blockage was before the whole issue with the school. It happened last year, and it just hasn't straightened itself out until now. So we'll see how it goes. And that's it.
Mr. Chairman, just a quick question. Why, it says here that your former salary was put, your salary was put into hourly?
Mine was put back, not Bill's, mine was.
Oh, what, for what purpose?
Because
We didn't hire a production manager. When I replaced Bill, we didn't hire me, my position.
Okay, gotcha.
Is that position going to be filled, or is it,
Not right now, I don't think we need to.
is it budgeted for in the new budget, or no?
No. It's just budgeted to increase the hours of the staff that we have.
it's more,
I wasn't here at the meeting when Terry was hired. What salary are we paying her?
well, she wasn't hired, she was just reassigned.
Okay.
The motion was to provide her the same salary Bill was making.
Okay.
Which is 54 or something a year.
Actually, it's shown in the future budget as 55,786,
That's for next year.
which we're adopting.
Right, but she's on the roof. Any other questions regarding the manager's report? Can we have a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Support.
Been moved and supported, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 9A, employee identification number. That's for me. I'm sure everybody's aware of the situation that occurred a couple of months ago. In response to that, I wanted to call a special meeting, and I consulted with our attorney about the requirements to do so, just to make sure I was doing everything by the law, by the book. And I got a call from Mr. Curtis, and the township attorney did not agree with our attorney. And so Jack's position was that since we do not have our own identification number and this entity at present falls under the umbrella of the township, he was going to mandate that the township attorney's opinion oversaw our attorney took precedent. Jack was strongly advising us that we separate as our own entity and get our own identification number with the IRS, so then he said we can have all the illegal meetings we want at that point, but it depends on what people's perception was. But our attorney said we were fine. But anyways, so I had Terry get with our attorney to put forth that procedure in motion to get us our own identification number. There was a minor hiccup. I think the attorney, and that was probably my fault, I just assumed the attorney could handle it efficiently, but there was a hiccup. What I should have done is gone through the Oxford Township's auditor, because she is well versed in all this stuff.
Yes, yes.
Raina?
Yep.
Yes.
I was also wondering, are we gonna have, there could be a lot of cost to doing this. Are we gonna have to have a separate audit from the township?
No. Nothing changes except we have our own ID number.
And you
I
sure
went
of
through
that?
that. Yeah, I went through that. I talked to Raina, the auditor herself. She
And
does
those
it.
are my concerns. Separate payroll, are there gonna be expenses?
The
We-
payroll is separate.
But we pay the township for those services now for payroll.
Right, we pay our portion.
Right, but that's not gonna change.
Okay.
The only thing that's changing, we're gonna get our own ID number with the IRS, so we're separate. So,
Which we should have.
yes,
Should have had that a long time ago.
we should have.
There's 4 communities involved.
Right,
Yeah.
there is. But the Oxford Township is bearing the brunt of, because when this commission was formed, 85, 86, before I was born. They set it up with, as a township entity, I guess, because the township, Oxford, I should say, because Addison is represented here, and I don't want to confuse. Oxford took the initiative to take care of all the, the particulars, and that's what's been going on ever since. So now, when the attorney started the ball rolling, the IRS took the assumption that we wanted to be a 501c3, which is not the case. So when I contacted Raina, she said she could take care of it and fix it and get the whole thing rectified properly. And so I'm leaving it in her hands.
She's the person you want.
And she said she would do this at a very, very nominal fee. So it's not going to be that big a deal expense-wise.
Okay.
So that's where we're at with that. We just need to separate ourselves from the township. The other thing too is if we fall under the township, then all our employees fall under the township umbrella as well. So all the rules that pertain to the township employees would pertain to our people instead of our own handbook rules that we already have in place. So
Yeah, that's always been a gray area for us.
So that's where we are with that. And hopefully by the next meeting I'll have, because we did get our own ID number already. Yeah, IRS has issued that, but now we got to get this 501c3 thing taken care of, because we're a government agency, we're not a 501c3. So, like I said, Raina's going to take care of it.
And we're not a nonprofit,
Well, true, we're just a government
but
agency.
that's what they have us as, is a nonprofit.
Okay, so that's where we are with that. If you have any other questions, I'll go to 9B, which is the update of the employee handbook. Due to the, again, I like to not reference, but we had our situation a couple of months ago, felt that there should be some interjection of a standard of conduct for our individuals when they're out in the public while they're working for the TV station. I'm not sure if we've covered this properly or if we've covered it completely. Everybody has their own experiences with this and their own position. So if you would just look at what's being presented and throw any information in or some recommendations before we make this a final addendum to the handbook.
I have some comments, if I can go first.
Yes.
So I know we have a proposed on page 16, and then attached to it looks like an excerpt from our current handbook, pages 13 and 14. And so as I read through that, the standards of conduct that we already have in place goes through a litany of things that talk about examples of inappropriate conduct include, and there's a lot of things here. But as you go on toward the end, one of the last items, I think is the fourth bullet point from the bottom, it says use of obscene or harassing as defined by our EEO policy language in the workplace. And so I asked Terry today, and Dave ended up sending a complete copy of our handbook, which I've now somewhat looked at. And when you go to our sexual harassment area, portion of the policy, which you guys probably don't have in front of you, it defines all this stuff about what harassment is. And it says, well, it's not possible to identify every act that constitute or may constitute sexual harassment. The following are some examples: unwelcome requests for favors, lewd or derogatory comments or jokes, comments regarding behavior or the body of another. I mean, this is all in here. So my take on it is, a lot of the stuff that's listed,
It's all redundant.
it's already in here.
Well, here's the question I have, and given your background, you can probably give me an answer. Is what took place considered sexual harassment?
That's what a court of law would say, I guess, or a jury.
Well, I mean, because you're referring to sexual harassment, and I'm thinking it was just improper conduct.
Well, I'm just reading it to say that's already in the policy, says use of obscene or harassing, and then in parentheses it says, as defined by our EEO policy, equal employment opportunity policy, language in the in the workplace. So then if you go to, and again, you guys don't have this, but I asked for it late today and I have not read through this whole thing. We have a pretty extensive, inclusive handbook that's like, you know, it's thick here.
If you think the book is again, I'll act, you know, I'll go with your recommendation, given your background. If you think the handbook is sufficient, then I have no problem. Just we can just delete this whole. If you feel we're good.
All I'm pointing out, and maybe everybody wants to look at it themselves, but there's a whole section under EEO statement and non-harassment policy, and it's not just sexual harassment. It talks about policy against workplace harassment, sexual harassment, other harassment, reporting discrimination and harassment. So it's like a lot of information here that, in my view, I mean, I didn't go through every single one of these, but
I look at what happened as not harassment, just.
well, it's defined in our policy as
Well, I know, but
behavior
I think
that's
it's
not.
harassment.
Yeah, I think.
well, he wasn't. You think he was harassing somebody?
I think if she heard that, he's definitely harassing her.
I'm not disagreeing with
And I
that.
think it's very likely that she didn't hear that, or it would be harassment. I think it's harassment.
I mean,
All right, I'm just asking the question. I thought it was just inappropriate comments, but if it falls under harassment, it falls under harassment.
but it says use of, this is already in our standard of conduct, it says use of obscene or harassing, as defined in the policy, language in the workplace, and that's exactly what happened. It was use of one of those two in the workplace. So, I don't know, but Mike's got his hand up.
Yes, sir.
I have to concur, and I'm just curious, when an employee is hired, are they given the handbook? Are they given the EEO? And are they required to sign a document that they've received it?
Yeah.
And I think we're covered. I mean, clearly it was a violation that had to be addressed. So
Well,
enumerating it twice, I mean, if that's what
I
you
can't
want to
believe.
do.
No.
I would say
I'm
use the same
anti-redundancy,
language
believe
if you're
me.
gonna do that.
I don't like redundancy at all. So if everybody's good with that, then I will entertain a motion.
The only other thing I would add is that sometimes when, like, putting this language in here might invite ambiguity, or it might invite inconsistency, or it might invite somebody to say that there's different definitions for what does it mean to demean others.
Right.
So, I mean,
I totally concur with that. I just wanted to make sure we were covered. So if we're good with it, then I have no problem deleting this at all. This whole page here. We can just disregard 9B.
disregard the proposed addendum.
Right. So we need a vote on that, or we can just
Just move on.
move on? All right. New business, the 2021 budget amendments. We approved at a previous meeting the purchase of some equipment that was in dire need of being replaced. And so now the budget has to be, because we had to draw funds from our reserve pool in order to pay for this equipment, because it was not budgeted for originally. But now we need to amend our current budget to,
Can you tell me what the balance is in the reserve pool?
and it's roughly about $230,000.
$233,946.
After the 41,000 is taken out?
No,
That's before.
That's before.
Before.
Hey, Marge, I know that this is your first meeting, but you might have been keeping up with some of our meetings or the notes in the past, but just so you're aware, and Mike, because of COVID last year, the TV station was restricted on what they could do. So there were very, very little hours spent on payroll last year as opposed to normal operations. So the investment pool grew
Okay.
because of that.
It's not usually that high.
No, after we built the new station,
Okay.
because the commission was saving money to do just that. And then after last year's COVID,
Well, you have a permanent home now, so that's a good thing.
yeah, we
Sure is,
Just like that, right?
and it's warm.
So anyways, we have budget amendments. They're on 19 and 21.
Make a motion to approve the budget amendments as presented, with the correction that included the amount in the adjustment column and the 2021 column.
Support.
We have a motion that's been supported. Roll call.
Payne,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Geibel,
Yes.
Hunwick,
Yes.
Helmuth, yes.
Okay, now for the real meat and potatoes, for why we needed everybody here, the 2022 budget.
Ed?
Yes.
Yeah. On page 23 at the top of the column, noun name column, it says revenue. I believe that technically is should say expense. I don't know if the spreadsheet
Yeah.
wasn't changed or whatever. I mean, it's a minor thing, but it could be confusing if somebody wasn't familiar with
Oh,
Excel or whatever.
What page?
the last page.
Page 23.
Yeah, that should be expenses up there.
Yes, it should,
What's that?
right here. Expense. It says revenue.
Oh,
That just answered all my questions. Now everything's fine.
Good catch.
as a matter of, yeah, you're right.
Other than that, I wasn't involved in any of the decisions that led to the proposal, but everything looks to be a good accounting order.
I just want to point out that I went back to 2019 just to acclimate myself with what our revenues were doing, and it looks like per year they dropped between 11,000 and 14,000 a year. So I adjusted according to that. I adjusted the revenue and expenditures according to that.
Any particular line item that they decreased in?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Any particular line that they decreased in, or was it just spread throughout all of the revenue?
I spread it throughout the whole, well, it spread throughout the revenue and then I spread it throughout the whole
Okay.
expenditures.
Of
So
course.
Addison Township was up 2,000, but Oxford Township was down 2,000. It just wavered. So I just kind of adjusted everything that we have, that we put out.
Yes, Maureen.
Approving the budget does not grant any wage increases, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Just want to make sure.
Yep.
Or,
We'll address that later in the next year.
I do understand that. I plan on doing the employee evaluations before our January meeting.
When do we want to do Terry and Dave's evaluations? Is it the two of you we do? Or it's just us Terry's?
Me, just me.
You just do Terry. Well, it would be you and
Bill?
Mike, or Bill,
We can figure that out.
or Marge.
I haven't been here long enough
Yeah.
to make those kinds of.
But are you
No one
permanent
else.
appointment? Are you-
Yeah, well,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have
So
my
far.
phone, I didn't know I had my phone with
He's
me.
laughing at us.
That's my phone, I'm sorry. Shoot. I don't even know where it's at.
Well, that's okay, I think they hung up.
Gosh darn it, I thought I had it in the car.
One other thing I'd like to point out, so we talked about that 3-year expenditure for equipment, and I expressed that I'd like to take a certain amount per year and put it in our budget, which I did do it's the very last, it's $18,000, and it even is noted on the side, 3-year equipment plan. So it's capital equipment expense is that line item, and we added that line item of the approved line items that we can use, just so that people in each community know what we're doing, especially with our fund balance. When it's growing, people don't like us to just sit on it, which I don't either.
Right.
And so I really want people to see what we plan on doing with it. And Karen, we do have a list of, remember you asked for a
Oh,
list
I
of
did.
our equipment?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that too for you.
So if I may ask,
Just,
so you don't expect to spend that money, it's being held
Saved.
to accumulate enough to make the purchase?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And we're in pretty good shape because of the board allowing us to expend what we needed for right now equipment, immediate equipment. Forsaking something breaking, we're pretty good.
When is that new piece gonna be implemented?
January.
January,
It's here, we have it,
right.
we just need to find an available technician. Apparently they're pretty busy.
Any other concerns or questions on the proposed budget?
I move to approve the OACCC 2022 budget with revenues and expenditures at $364,145.
I'll second that. If there,
We have a motion, it's been seconded, any more discussion? Not, roll call please.
Dibble,
Yes.
Dunwick,
Yep. Yes, I'm
McDonald?
sorry.
yes,
Payne,
Yes.
Melnick, yes.
All right, 10C that was just added on. I'm just making a suggestion to see if the board would consider it. Our bylaws, which you've got a copy of, section 12 on the board voting, it says a super quorum must be present for the following. To elect officers, change bylaws, adopt a budget, change a budget, hire and fire employees. My question to the board is, it sometimes, like today, I was concerned we weren't going to get a super quorum to be able to get the budget for next year passed. I was wondering if the bylaws could be changed to state that instead of a super quorum to approve any of the issues that are required under super quorum, instead of a super quorum being present, that it would require at least 3 yes votes on any of those issues for any proposals to be passed.
So just a simple quorum.
I'm saying 3 yes votes. So if I'm here, Marge is here, and say Mike is here, you two aren't on the end. So
It's a simple quorum.
it's a simple, but we would have to all vote unanimously on the motion. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, or?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have not seen an intergovernmental agreement that in cases like this, like we're discussing, would allow for an involved community not to have a representative at a budget or at an important
Right.
change. I mean, that would be an oversimplification of that I don't think it would be acceptable.
No.
I think every community has to have a representative. On this council, there are 2 representatives representing Oxford. If one is present, you are covered. That way you still have a seat,
Right.
you still have your majority of
Yeah,
members
you're
present.
correct. Why am I here then if you're here?
You didn't necessarily have to be here.
Oh, they called me the other day and said I had to be.
My dad.
Okay. All right.
No, you didn't necessarily have to be here. The rest of them had to be here.
I think all we need to do is, when it's required for a super quorum, post it, super quorum necessary. Because then I'm gonna tell the girl that I work with, she's not taking the day off, she'll get her butt to work so I can go to my meeting.
I'm just trying to alleviate an issue, like if we didn't get a super quorum at this meeting, it's gonna be hard pressed going into the holidays in order to try to coordinate everybody's schedule to get everybody here for this. This is all I'm getting at. And I was just wondering if that situation could be alleviated, changing the language and how the voting, because even if, I know that the communities have to be represented, but if we're all here, it's still gonna take 3 yes votes to pass anything that's required under the super quorum requirement.
Mike and I serve on the NOTA board together, and we have the same situation, except we also have Orion as well.
Right,
And we do not pass budget without
a super quorum?
a super quorum. And I think it's kind of, I don't know about the legalities of it, but I really think it would be wrong. I just think that, we as board members, we made a commitment to show for budget meetings. Yes, we could be absent from time to time, but the budget is important.
I did talk to individuals here at the township who looked into it. They said we could change our bylaws to accommodate the changes if we wanted to. That's up to us. And that's the only reason why I propose this.
Curtis, right?
Essentially, yeah, he said if you wanted to change your bylaws, that's up to you guys.
I don't think I'm for changing it.
You're what?
I'm not really interested in changing it.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Yeah, I don't
Not
think there's
hard.
a need for it.
Alright, I'm just was throwing it out there.
tell us it's a super quorum and we're gonna make it.
When I saw your note on the email, I was like, okay, better make sure I'm there on time.
What?
So- And if it is only a couple times that we really need the super quorum, then okay, then.
Make it work.
Right.
And if we have to have a special meeting, we have a special meeting.
And that's why we have alternate members as well. Every community is supposed to provide at least one alternate so that.
No, and I appreciate the fact that the alternates showed up for this meeting.
I do too.
And appear to actually know what they're talking about.
Well,
More so than some of us.
I don't know either.
You're doing good. Good, thank you.
alright, then, I have nothing more to add for my, subject for 10C, so I'll move on. Committee reports, technical committee, we've done our stuff on the technical committee the last few meetings with all the equipment and everything, so I got nothing more to add. Personnel committee,
I guess, Karen, can I get another copy of those performance evaluations? And
Oh.
I guess I'll just pick somebody to do it with me and we'll be up there.
I mean, if you want me to be in the personnel committee with you, I will, we can.
That'll work. I mean, I'm pretty flexible.
so
Yeah, okay.
you'll be on the personnel,
Yeah, I don't care.
okay?
Is that an ad hoc committee of the commission?
Yes,
Special committee.
And we'll get with Terry and do a year-end review.
So we need to do that before the end of the year.
I think it's in January.
Oh, it's January, she says
Is
January.
it January that we do it? Third? Okay.
That works for me.
okay, item 12, commissioner comments, Maureen,
Nothing.
Mark,
Nothing.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday, Thanksgiving,
Same here.
and thanks for
This week.
coming tonight.
Is that this week?
Thank you for approving the budget.
Next meeting is when?
December
27th.
17th at 4:30 PM,
December 27th?
or 27th.
Who does the,
27th?
December 27th.
27th,
I have an issue.
That might be a recognized holiday. for
I do
people.
too.
Unless I have brought this up in the past, and I know that I have, it seemed like I lied.
Are you going up?
I'm
To
going to
Europe
Norway.
yet?
I'm
He's a
supposed to go to Norway to see my
He's
daughter.
not going to Norway.
So
Bunch of
as of
crap.
right now, I can go to Norway. So if nothing changes, the 27th, I'll be in Norway.
Okay, everybody get your calendars out.
if we authorize the bills that must be paid to be paid for December, can we cancel the meeting safely? I mean, is there any business that we have to do?
As long as none of the bills are out of, anything out of the ordinary.
There's,
We will be paying, Telview, the 41,107.
Right, but we've already
That's been
approved
That'll
it.
be in that bill run, that's all that will be out of the ordinary.
So I would say let's just approve the December bills, pre-approve the December bills and cancel the meeting, because I won't be able to make the 20th.
Was that a motion, Margie?
Yeah.
Support.
do we need to add that to the agenda?
I think we just
You can
did.
put it in the minutes.
Put it in the minutes, okay?
But I'm still working on those minutes. Give me minutes.
I think, I don't know if we can do that.
We canceled our August meeting, didn't we? Because Ed was in
Yeah,
Norway.
but I.
No,
July meeting or something. Because he was supposed to be
I
in
was supposed to
Norway.
be in Norway, but
We did cancel one meeting this year, so.
I'm just saying.
You have a daughter in Norway?
She's a JAG in the Air Force, and she's assigned to Norway right now, but
Beautiful.
they just promoted her to lieutenant colonel, so she's going to be relocated back in the States sometime in June supposedly.
Oh, that'd be nice. Well, get over to Norway quick.
We've never been.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's dying gone to heaven going
Yeah.
there.
It's pretty much.
So can we do this or no?
I think we can do it.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion.
Are we including the
We already
cancellation
did
of the
it.
December meeting?
Just need a roll call.
Are we including the
Did the motion include the cancellation of the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Who made the motion?
Margie, we're still, and
But I
Karen
supported
seconded
it.
it.
Well, that's right, you were writing the motion down. You were
Yes, I am.
That brings up the schedule for the 2022 sessions. So I'll create that and send it out to everybody to see if they have any.
Okay,
I might suggest that the December meeting be moved forward a week or,
Is it
sometime before Christmas.
well, I was gonna suggest that, but
Okay.
with the, if,
According to the bylaws.
The 20th?
We're only required to meet 4 times a year.
correct,
That's the minimum.
I tried that once.
If, my only point being is that I don't think if you miss one meeting, you can.
No, they don't even, they could put the bill run on the following month.
Right.
We don't even have to pre-approve the bill.
So maybe just cut out the
We can just
December
cancel the
meeting.
meeting.
I like it.
You still have a motion in play.
Which is the cancellation of the meeting.
So, let's revise the motion just to cancel the meeting.
That's the current motion, is to approve the payment of the December regular bills and the 41,000, I'll get the right dollar amount for the tele, and to cancel the December meeting.
So we want to pre-approve the bills, that's fine with me, I'm just making sure we're all on the same page. All right, let's roll call.
Payne,
Yes.
Guybo,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Hunway,
Yes.
Helmut, yes.
Okay,
Merry Christmas, everybody.
public
Yeah.
comments, nobody's here. Take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Support?
So moved, it's been supported, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.